Morning. Guess I'm way overdue doing an update. So we'll just kind of go through everything since it's been so long and a lot of things are growing. There have been a few changes, and we'll go through everything. So, like this, for instance, is called Chinese Malungai, and the Malungai that most people use here with the round leaves is not native. This one is, and I don't know why it's called Chinese Malungai, but the Chinese one is actually the one that's native to the Philippines. We lost our cerisa tree, the Captain Crunch berry tree, so I'm making some changes in this area. Now, this tree's been here for a while, and we really like it. It doesn't get any taller. It doesn't have fruit or flowers, but it's just a nice shade tree. And so we planted another one on the other side, and we'll end up with kind of a shaded arch leading up to the house. We still have a number of trees that eventually we'll outplant or keep on the terrace there. Not sure, just ones that we didn't quite have room to plant in the yard, but we don't want to get rid of. Have to be careful about overcrowding. This is an umbrella tree. Eventually, when it gets bigger, I don't know, probably a couple of years, it kind of takes form of a shady umbrella that doesn't grow too tall and is almost self-maintaining in height and things of that nature. Here's a variety of banana called Musa ornata, and this one, it doesn't really produce fruit at all. Well, it has fruit, but it's not appealing at all, and it's very small. But most banana hearts will bend over and down, and the bananas will come out. Well, this one remains upright and just keeps flowering in layers, and so we've nicknamed it the Viagra banana. This is lipstick ginger, and it's real nice because these little nodules that come out every day, they're very sweet. It's almost like a candy in flavor. Here we have a bugnai tree, which we harvested a couple months ago, as well as some mulberry. Going up. Everything here is doing good. We have some new aromatics coming in, waiting for them to get bigger in pots, and then we might plant them out. The miracle berry is getting ready to have berries again. This is the one with the berry where it takes anything that's kind of sour or acidic and makes it taste sweet. So if you eat one of these and then have lemon juice, it'll make the lemon juice taste like it's already sweetened. If you drink vinegar after it, it tastes similar to honey. It's also good for cancer patients who are going through chemo and nothing is appealing for them to eat anymore. For some people, if they eat that before they eat, it makes food more appealing, which in turn gives them strength to fight the cancer and help them through chemo. This is kaffir lime, which is used in things like tom yum soup. Also smells really good and can be used in place of lemongrass in some dishes. Here we have berba, or lemon drop mangosteen. And we've had a couple berries coming off of this. Eventually we'll plant it if we get some more room, but it won't be on this property due to space constraints. But it's little tiny lemon drop sized mangosteens that are pretty nice to eat. A lot of things outplanted here. Some we'll use, some are herbs. This whole area eventually, when we're done with the exterior of the house, this area will get cleaned up. This is stevia. If any of you are familiar with the artificial sweetener stevia, this is what it looks like in leaf form, and it actually is very appealing just to eat like it is. Extremely sweet, surprisingly so, especially the first time you try it. And this is still on hold. Once the exterior of the house is done, we'll start putting some low light, high moisture plants in here. And it'll be orchids and other flowering things that are appealing. This side yard's coming in very nicely. These Lanzoni trees, we have 2 of the variety Duco and 2 of the variety Long Kong. They were some of the first trees we planted on this property, and we think we're going to get our very first harvest off of them this year, which would be really nice. And on this big trellis here, we have 2 varieties of passion fruit, and it's thriving. It's doing really good. The only thing is, for whatever reason, we can't figure out what, we don't get much fruit off of it. So we've planted passion fruit out in some other areas, and maybe next month we're going to remove all the passion fruit from this area, and we'll use that trellis for growing vegetables like long beans and things of that nature. And here, over by the where the lipstick ginger was earlier, we used to have the shampoo ginger, and it just wasn't doing really good there, so we took and transplanted it over here about a week ago, and hopefully it'll thrive better there. We won't know for at least a couple months, but just trying some new things out, and like so many of the plants here, we're learning as we go. This is Kamansi, which is a local lime, and this thing is fruiting all the time. It's very happy. And this is the New Guinea creeper, which is the same flower you'll see on the back of the new 5 peso coin, except that this one is red and the one on the coin is jade in color and it's called jade vine. This one is called New Guinea creeper. It has these beautiful flowers, which we have some coming in now. It flowers 3 or 4 times a year, depending on how much rainfall and other things we get. It's very beautiful when it comes out. I planted this a little over 4 years ago, and it's pretty hardy. Very happy with it. Oh, this is in the insulin family, and we don't get it for the insulin. We get it for these little flowers. These flowers are great because, similar to a honey, you can eat them. They're good as a garnish. They're good just to put in a salad, eat whole. You eat the whole thing, and similar to like a honeysuckle in the U.S., the tip down here is full of a natural sugar that makes it very sweet, depending on the time of day you harvest it. So you just kind of pop the whole thing in your mouth, and it's a nice one to keep around. It has new flowers every single day. And Lisa's doing a great job with a lot of ornamentals you see coming in through here. Different colors and different shades, and we're getting our very first coconuts back here. We already harvested some off of here. We planted those about the same time we planted the Lanzone trees. And you can see we have some more coming in now, and little baby coconuts. Here's one of our fig trees. Haven't had any fruit on it this year. We had a number last year. Hoping to get some soon. We had it in a pot on the other side of the yard, and we recently transplanted it in the ground, so I think maybe it's just getting acclimated. This is finger lime, also known as caviar lime. And this lime, the inside of it has thousands of little tiny beads, similar like if you're having sushi and they have the little itty bitty orange eggs on the top of the sushi, and you bite the eggs, you kind of get that salty brine taste. Well, this, you can use it, you can split these open and you get little tiny balls in there, depending on if they're the color of the lime. You get little citrus flavors you can bite into, so you can put it on desserts or use it as a garnish, things of that nature. Just goofing around, we put some passion fruit in here. This is a hanging tulip, and when this little tree gets bigger, it doesn't get really tall, and it has these flowers that come out year-round, and when it gets bigger, you'll have dozens of these hanging tulips on here all the time. It's a nice ornamental that takes care of itself. Here we've got black sapote, and black sapote is the chocolate pudding fruit. It's in the persimmon family, and the fruit when you eat it, when you open it up, it has the same color and texture as chocolate pudding. It doesn't taste like chocolate pudding. It has a very pleasant, sweet, semi-sweet flavor to it. It's a fun fruit to have around. And some more. This is our Abiu, ABIU. It's doing really good. I think maybe 2 years before we get fruit off of this. When we do, it'll be like a yellow star apple. Cut it open, use like a spoon to scoop out the insides, and it's kind of similar to a little bit of more fibrous jello that's very pleasant, sweet, citrusy flavor that I like. And this is Malaysian Jade, which is a variety of rambutan. Only this one is 3 or 4 times the size of regular rambutan. Very sweet, but it'll be 4 more years before we really get any fruit. And this is Aviark, the sweetest jackfruit in the world. The sugar concentrate level's so high, when it's very ripe, you can actually press it and reduce the sugar, the juice that comes out, and make Aviark sugar. And this is a really good high value crop that's becoming popular here in Mindanao. Here we have my Chani durian. It's doing really good. Did some pruning on it this last week, and hoping to get our first fruit from this coming year. We had to cut this back. We had some fungus, we had some other issues that we didn't know about. Another learning experience, but this is 5 varieties of dragon fruit and on this rail / trellis, and eventually the idea is that it'll hang over the edge here and be like a dragon fruit waterfall coming down. So when you come up to the top of the steps coming up to the house, you'll look up and see like this dragon fruit waterfall. Here's another one. We had it in a pot. It wasn't doing well. We moved it here in the hopes that it'll do well here. And this is a purple wisteria, but time will tell on this one. If it does take off, it'll be beautiful. If it doesn't, we'll have to get something else. Here's our red powder puff tree. It flowers all the time. These flowers will last like a week and they'll drop off, and then it'll just completely bloom all over again. And it's real nice to have around. This is one of the only trees that we kept that wasn't an invasive species of tree when we cleared the property, and this is Camonsil. The English name is monkey pod, and it has these little fruits that are kind of like a string bean in a bracelet form, with a unique fruit inside that's semi-sweet, very pleasant to eat, and becoming very rare here in the Philippines. The only province I've been to where you can actually buy it in the market is the province of Iloilo. Of course, we've got lemongrass planted out everywhere, and we use it all the time. And then here's the torch ginger. It's doing really good finally. It had some false starts on this one. Relocated it once. Now it has these torch flowers that come up, and I'm told you can use these to make a salad in Thailand, and so I need to learn how to do that. And this is an acai or acai palm, ACAI. It's a power berry, and it's doing very well. And time will tell. I'm hopeful, but we'll see if we'll ever actually get any berries to harvest from it. This is Anonas, which is it's in the same family as sugar apple, or also known as atis. But this, instead of being green on the outside, when it's ripe, it's pink out on the outside, and it's really nice to eat. It's one of my favorites. If I can get to it before the birds do, that's kind of the trick, right? So we got a bunch coming in there, and just have to keep an eye on it. This is Malaysian jackfruit. I think it's J33. which is a latexless form of jackfruit. And time will tell. I'm guessing 2 or 3 more years. So this is blackberry jamberry, which we're finally getting our first harvest on. This was really touch and go. We had this in pots for a couple of years. It didn't do anything, and we tried it in a couple different areas and it wasn't working. I just about given up on it, and I kind of put them up here on the edge of this terrace as kind of a Hail Mary, thinking, well, we'll see, maybe this will actually work. And it did. And so we're getting our first harvest in, and these actually do taste and look and have the same texture as blackberry jam from the jar. The flowers are also very pleasant and have a beautiful smell to them. The smell doesn't travel far like some of the other aromatics, but it's still nice. And our bolite tree, which is the spirit tree of the Philippines. It's said to house both good and evil spirits. And I planted this blue sky vine in it, so these blue sky vine flowers hang down all the time. And when you're approaching it, the tradition is to ask for permission to approach the tree, and you say that by using the phrase tabi po, which essentially, may I pass. Our bees are doing great. We did a harvest about 6 weeks ago. Probably another 6 weeks and we'll do another harvest. You can see these are stingerless bees. And stingerless bees produce a type of honey called trigona honey. And regular honey from traditional honeybees, the natural sugar level on the honey is about 85%. Whereas this one is 17%. So it's considerably less sweet, but the antibacterial properties in it and the other medicinal properties of this are about 70% higher than traditional honey. So, and we like it. You don't want to use it as a sweetener like you would with regular honey. You just have other uses for it. This is Musang King, which is the rarest, most expensive form of durian in the world, which I've still never tried one. I'm hoping this coming year during durian season I'll be able to try this type of durian, but of course it won't be from that tree. So this slowly, everything's getting shaded. It's starting to get the kind of the food forest park atmosphere that we're going for. Like anything, it just takes time, and especially when you're talking about planting, it takes even more time and patience and just trusting that what you've done is right, or at least hoping you got correct information. The date palms are coming in real nice. This is another one. This will be interesting to see how this turns out, because date palms, you need one male and one female, and we don't know at this point in time. What we have is 2 females, 2 males, a male and a female. We'll find out. Lisa liked them and wanted them, and so these will be nice shade palms, decorative palms up here if nothing else, and we'll see how the rest of that turns out. This is Inyam, which is a native tree. It's similar, the fruit is similar to bugnai, except it's much, much smaller. And the berries are very pleasant. It's hard to find. They're similar in taste to like a black currant. And of course, very happy with the way our pavilion turned out. We got using locally sourced native clay products done by local artisans. We commissioned them to make these clay columns, and of course we put rebar in them and concrete and reinforced them, but you get a nice decorative effect on the outside. And when there's no clouds, you have an amazing view right there, a direct shot of the local volcano, which is called Mount Matutum, and the sunrise is just to the left of Mount Matutum there every morning. So this is a great spot to come up about 5:30 in the morning and wait for the sunrise. This vine you see hanging down, we built it into built the trellis into the roof when we designed the pavilion, and that's worked out very well because you end up with this kind of like living hanging veil around the sides. It's starting to fill in very nicely. Just takes a little bit of maintenance. So Dama de Noche, which is starting to flower, and this is one of the aromatics that is really nice. Almost all the aromatics in the Philippines basically come out at night only, and when they do, though, they're amazing. There's like a perfume that carries quite a ways. Oh, forgot the. So I got a couple different varieties of orchid family plants over here. You see some nice, beautiful flowers. Those last quite a while. These ones were flowering last month. They're in between right now. And eventually, this plant coming up here, this vine, is called an Indian clock vine. And it'll fill this entire trellis and provide shade and hanging flowers year round. But probably a good 2 years before that takes place. And here we have saging, or banana variety of tin duck, and these are the giant bananas. We don't have any actual bananas at the moment, we're in between, but these, each individual banana is about 1 kilo each, so about 2.2 pounds per banana, and they're almost like 2 feet long. This is Semphodox CH17, which is my favorite fruit so far in the Philippines. And this fruit only discovered a couple of years ago. This tree I planted from seed less than 3 years ago. And on the outside of the fruit, it looks similar to jackfruit, and the inside looks similar to another fruit that's called marang. But the flavor and texture is unlike either of those fruits, and this particular variety, CH17, is the bubblegum variety, and it actually smells and tastes of bubblegum. Here's our other fig tree, which has never fruited yet, but seems to be doing well. It's doubled or tripled in size since we placed it up here about 6 months ago, so we'll see how that turns out. This is Chinoto orange, which is an ornamental Japanese style orange. And our first fruit is finally getting close to harvest time. I've never actually tasted one, so that'll be interesting. And you can see we've turned the entire fence into a trellis, and there's passion fruit on it here. But further down, we plant a variety of beans called wing beans on the fence, and we get more than we can eat. We end up giving away we produce a lot more than we can eat on everything we grow. And this is Jaboticaba. Jaboticaba is a grape tree, and the grapes, they're not truly grapes. They just call them grapes because they look like grapes. Grow on the exterior, on the branches and on the trunk of the tree. And I'm told, another one I've never actually had to try, but I've heard from many friends, the taste and texture is like a blueberry yogurt. So, last on the terraces up here is our peanut butter fruit. And this one's really great, I love it. And we get, thousands of pieces of fruit a year off of this thing. And these berries will turn bright red and get soft. And if you get to them before the birds do, another one that the birds love, the taste and texture is exactly like creamy peanut butter from the jar, no exaggeration. So we've got another big harvest coming in here. So we'll just kind of wander on down to the side yard where we've outplanted some stuff. It's just all together, everything's become very pleasant. As these trees grow in, it becomes more shaded, it becomes a lot cooler, and it's nice to be up here. Just have to go up a few steps. I forgot to mention we do have 3 varieties of guava. This is apple guava. There's another guava tree behind it that's nice, and then we have the native guava up there. This is also the first thing I do every morning is bring the dogs out, come wander through here, kind of just have some coffee and wander around and check the plants, and before everybody wakes up and the sun is coming up, it's very pleasant. This tree is called Ilang Ilang, and this tree has been famous for hundreds of years in Europe because they extract the essence from these flowers and make perfume in Europe. And at night, the fragrance of, we place it on the upwind side of the house, so at night the fragrance from this tree blows through the house, and it's like having like a potpourri or something just going through the house all night long. This is a Philippine sandpaper tree, which I planted coral vine in. And so the tree itself, when it has flowers, has white flowers, and these flowers, these pink flowers, are here year round, and they attract butterflies and bees, especially like early afternoon when the temperature in this area is right. There'll be just thousands of butterflies and bees all over this tree, and it's a nice shade tree. We've got planting a bunch of stuff. We're gonna try black pepper vine here, and not because I want black pepper, but because I want green pepper, which you can't buy because it has a short shelf life. And you can make different flavored dishes, especially like different Asian dishes that use fresh green pepper. And jalapenos and different peppers. And here we have our grapefruit tree, pomelo, which is the Chinese, what they call a Chinese variety here, which is a sweet one. And it's had some fruit, but none at the moment. This is the 1,000-finger banana, and it's coming out now. And in about 2 weeks, that thing will start coming down. It'll literally have like almost 1,000 bananas, and that bunch of bananas, it'll keep growing and new bananas coming out under every layer, and it'll reach almost to the ground. It'll just be about 1,000 bananas. This is limoncita, which is another type of citrus. It's very popular, and I guess I'm told it's kind of expensive. We had these, we were given them, I can't remember by who, a couple of years ago. We planted them here, and it's nice to have them, but I don't like the way they taste, so we kind of just planted them here out of the way. This is a banana called bungulan, and when these are ripe, they will still be green on the outside. When they're fully ripened, they won't turn yellow, and they're very sweet and have a nice texture. They're my favorite one for eating. This is a chiru. The chiru is yellow mangosteen, not like the lemon drop mangosteen, but a different type. It's just a yellow mangosteen from South America, and it's really nice to eat. And we got a couple of years on that one. Of course, we have a couple other coconuts we planted back here, dwarf coconuts, so they won't get too tall, and we can harvest the fruit and be able to reach them without climbing the tree. There's another form of jackfruit. It's starting to get its first fruit coming in. Here's one. So, get a couple months and we'll be harvesting jackfruit off this tree for the first time. This is blue Java banana, also known as ice cream banana. And when it's ripe, the exterior of the banana itself will be slightly blue in color. That's why they call it blue Java. It's one of the better ones to eat. And our kamansi tree, which is producing fruit now pretty regular. So, and we use the extra concrete from construction here to create a pathway of sorts going through. So, oh, that's the tour for now. I'll do another update. Yeah, next time I think it's a good time to do an update.